What did you think overall when you look back on the way you guys pitched?
We did. We pitched excellent. Parker obviously the first night did a great job, and he had a lot of different things going on. He had a really good curveball, a good changeup. His fastball was good. He was in and out and threw some sliders, so he did a great job. And then I thought Justin was really good, and then got better as he went, and he kind of followed it up and went 8 strong innings and got his pitch count up over 100, which is important that you're kind of in your 4th and 5th weekend. The kids start to at least get their pitch counts built where their stamina's good. So that was a really good outing by him. And then Bryce did a good job yesterday, or Saturday, that is. Going 5 innings, his pitch count didn't get quite as expanded, but Coach Walton did a really good job of kind of getting him through that 5th inning where he avoided bases loaded, nobody out situation, only gave up 1 run, so that was good. And then we got a number of different kids to the mound, so we pitched really good and played good defense. The games had a pretty good pace to them, so that was really positive from the BYU series.
Justin seems like he's really come along strong. What's really impressed you about him?
Well, he's got good control of himself. He's had a really good game face since he got here. There's a lot of poise, and he slows the game down really good for a kid his age. And it was just kind of a matter of getting him for us to learn enough about him as a performer to know his body and kind of what made him unique. We knew he had a good curveball. Obviously, he's got a really tall frame, so his fastball had some downward plane to it that we knew was in there. But the changeup has really improved, and it's a really good pitch. His velocity's starting to pick up. And then Coach Walton's taught him a slider since he's been on campus. So just kind of watching him evolve and get stronger as he goes. And, he's also a threat with the bat in his hand, too. He's a good hitter, and he's had some really good at-bats. So he continues to, show us things in the games that are impressive, mature beyond his years in many ways.
On a broad scale, is there something that these freshmen are doing that's making them take off as quickly as they are? We mentioned Justin. There's Caden Trinkle. What's making them progress so much so early?
Well, Caden is also really manages himself well. His thoughts are clean for his age. He's not afraid to fail. He's not worried about things that are out of his control. He's just focused on playing. He's in a good groove as far as that goes. But, those kids came in, developed players. Those kids are good players. And they're getting an opportunity to play right away and be in the lineup. And so those things are all good. It helps them get settled, helps them not look over their shoulder. As a coach, you want your players to feel a sense of, I can get in the lineup and just go and not be looking over my shoulder. But competition's real, and how you perform has a lot to do with how the lineup plays out. So there's been a good amount of guys get opportunities, and I think that's what you want with the pre-conference portion of your schedule, is to try to get as many guys on the field and see what they're capable of doing, so you can kind of establish some roles and figure out how you're going to navigate a very challenging stretch of baseball from this point forward.
How important is it to see some guys getting deep into some games and showing that they can eat up some innings this early in the year?
It's good. I think it's the mental stamina to make pitches 50 to 100 that you have to learn, as much as pitches 1 through 50. Anybody can come out of the gate hot and heavy for the first 50 pitches, but to concentrate for innings 5, 6, and 7, and even in some cases the 8th inning, you got to really have mental stamina. That's a long time to compete for a pitcher, especially that many times to go to the mound and sit down and go to the mound and sit down and sustain your concentration and not let your mind wander and not let your body stiffen up or fatigue. So there's a mental side to it that's really important, that takes skill and stamina, and then the physical stamina to still make good pitches late in the game. So that's been very good to see guys get a little more stretched out and have that kind of experience under their belt. You don't want to do it too fast, because coming out of the January, February temperatures, our pitch count is maybe not as stretched out as, say, a school in warmer weather. But I think we've arrived at that point here right on schedule.
Yeah. You guys have a lot of games this week. What do you want to see from your team before Big 12 play gets started?
I'm excited we're playing 5 games this week. I like the games. I like to see the kids compete. I like to see, what opportunity somebody gets, what they do with it. Everyone gets discovered at some point, and the opportunities are how discovery occurs. So just seeing guys get chances to compete and see guys build on the things that maybe they've done leading up to this point that have been good, and then see some guys that have earned a right to make adjustments, get those adjustments kind of installed in their game, if you will. in the next five home games here. So like the games, like the opportunities they present. There's more innings to be pitched this week, so more guys should get a chance to touch the ball. They're working hard on the side, and they're anxious for their chance, and we want to see them get out there. So games are good. 5-game weeks, stretch your roster, get more kids involved, and like D. Nicola's home run, was it Saturday or Friday?
Friday.
That was good. That's another member of the squad that now feels good about what he's doing. So the more kids you can get positively involved in the team and feeling good about what they're doing, it grows the team.
Is there a guy that's right there on the edge you think's maybe about to pop or ready to really emerge?
Who is that?
Is there a guy?
Is there a guy? Yeah, there are a lot of them. We've had some injuries, so it's created some more opportunities for guys. So I think your position player group is stretched out a little bit more, where guys are getting some looks and opportunities. Pitching, you saw. I think Colton Bowman's one of those young pitchers that in his 2 outings at this point has been very confident, and usually confidence in strike throwing usually leads to more and more good quality outings. I think the way he's responded to the early season opportunities is really good. We have a few guys that were a little slow with their arms kind of coming out of the winter that are starting to get in shape now. Kids like Cable who've pitched a little bit more frequently. He has a good arm and good pitches. Kid like Tucker Elliott who's going to get a chance here as we get more and more games. Some of those guys that missed the fall are starting to get their legs underneath them, and their arms are starting to be more mid-season-ish rather than early season. So those things are really good for us to get more guys in that kind of on-go mode versus wait-and-see mode. So I like that this time of year. As far as guys that are on the verge, we've used pretty consistent position player group at this point. Obviously, we've had some good production out of the infield when Jake Thompson is in there to go with Morrill and Polkovich and Alex. With Jake Thompson out, Dylan Gardner's gotten some more playing time, so that's been good. It's kind of developed the whole infield picture, if you will. McCusker's out right now with a cut on his hand that he suffered when he slipped and his cleat tore his hand open, so that's created some more at-bats across the outfield for guys. So we're getting some depth established, and we're getting some guys to the field that needed to play to see what they can do. And then there's still others that again, have a chance to really factor into this thing before it's all said and done. But, I feel good about the direction of the team. I do. I like this group in particular. Their work ethic's strong. And they'll be ready to go out there here shortly. After a day off yesterday, they'll be excited to get back on the field.
How is Jake doing? He didn't play Thursday, Friday. I wasn't there.
He has a hamstring strain. It's one of the injuries you got to be really cautious of as a coach. Those can be tricky. So we'll let him get healthy before we fire him in there. We'll just err on the side of caution before he's back in.
What goes into getting a former president to throw out a first pitch?
Well, it didn't have anything to do with it. I think probably what goes into it is he's a dear friend of Mr. Obrate's, and obviously he has a great friendship and probably years of a relationship there. But yeah, that's pretty awesome that he would think enough of his friendship with Cecil to come back and do that as kind of a way to really just put a stamp on opening night at Obrate Stadium. What a cool way to kind of bring baseball and history and friendship and all those things together. It's a cool thing.
How did that news kind of get brought to you that this was going to happen?
Seems like it was a couple months back that maybe that idea was floated, and then when it was kind of more, I think, somewhat formal, then they told me. But yeah, a lot of the just a lot of people working hard at this thing to make all this come together. So I kind of catch bits and pieces of it whenever I'm part of the process.
Have you gotten to talk with Cecil much at all?
Yeah.
In this process?
I have.
How's
I
that?
saw him last Monday. Happened to go over to the field to check out a few things, and he was there. Kind of unannounced trip to town, and got my picture taken with him. Scarlett took a picture of he and I together. It's a happy picture too. It's a great picture. I think he stopped in just to see how things were going, and I know he was thrilled with what he saw. It was obviously great to see him. But yeah, he's awesome. Awesome. It's a real sense of pride to show him that facility when he comes to town. It's very, it's really an honor.
You ever been around a president?
I can't say that I have.
Okay.
I met President Bush though at TD Ameritrade.
Oh, okay.
He threw the first pitch out. The history of TD Ameritrade Field. I was coaching at Vanderbilt. We played the first game ever, and he was the president that threw out the first pitch. So I did actually shake his hand. I think I was the last person in line I got to shake his hand. So I have actually shared a ball field with him as far as that goes. Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, his father was a celebrated part of the 50th anniversary of the College World Series from his time as a player at Yale. So I want to say I was either coaching or playing on a team in Omaha where that particular anniversary or celebration involved his father as well. I can't remember the exact nature of it, but I do remember it. I think he played first base at Yale.